Hi everyone, and welcome back to Stamp with Anna. And today I'm going to show you the second hot chocolate packet holder that I'm making for my co-workers. And this one is a very simple one. It's just an embossed envelope. And I made the envelope using the mini treat bag thinlits. I've had this for a while and I think I've only used it a few times. I don't know why, I just love it. So I really should use it a lot more than I do. It has a lot of different pieces to it. It has a bow, says something that says for you, this nice banner, a star, a heart, and joy, this torn, like looks like a torn piece of washi tape, and then it has these borders that you can die cut to embellish your envelope. But I'm not using that part of it today. All I'm using is the base of the framelit. I'm just going to make my envelope and then I'm going to emboss it using the cable knit embossing folder. It's one of the dynamic embossing folders. Came out last holiday and it is still current. So that's what I thought that would be a good look with this sentiment, which comes from the new snowflake sentiments, and everything that I'm using to stamp comes right from this. I'm using Wrapped in the Warmth of Christmas. It's hot chocolate and it's a cable sweater, and that just says warmth, so I thought that was perfect. Then I'm using the To and the From, which I will stamp behind my tag, and then I'm using this little flourish right there. And speaking of the tag is, I have this ribbon here, and then I've attached the tag with a little piece of thin baker's twine, and I stamped the front of it, and then I also stamped on the back of it so that I can write to whom it is for and from whom it is. So what I'm using is a piece of cherry cobbler, and this is 6 by 11, and I'm going to position my framelits on this like this. I'm going to run it through the die machine, and then I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with my die cut pieces. And now I'm going to run them through the embossing folder. Now, you can't obviously attach them and run them through. This goes like, whoops, excuse me, this goes like this because it's not big enough. So you do have to run them through separately. And you have to be conscious of which way you're running this through. You want to make sure that the raised part is on the bottom so that when you run this through, your knits are going to be sticking up. So with the Stampin' Up logo on the top right corner, because you also want to make sure that your cables are going vertically. So you're going to run this through with the Stampin' Up logo on the top right corner, and then you're going to do the same with your second piece. But you have to remember that this is going to be attached like this. See this flap right here? That's going to be attached right here. So you need to make sure that this tab is towards your right, and when it's in the folder, the Stampin' Up is in the top right, and your cables are going vertically. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back from embossing, and here is my smaller piece. I have my tab towards the right, and the cables are coming up. Now, here is my larger piece, and I don't think I mentioned that you should place this so that the front part of the bag is on the left, and the tab, the shorter part that goes in the back, is on the right. Okay? So now we just need to put this together, and this is going to go together just like this. So here we have, because you've run it through the embossing folder, you really can't see the score lines that much, but you can get a feel for where they need to be. Okay, so I've got this scored, and it's going to fit right here. So what I'm going to do is put some tear tape on the tab right up to the score line. Okay, and now I'm going to attach this. I'm going to fold this bottom piece here as my guide, so I know that this corner here needs to be right up to that. And there we go. I'm going to press that down. And there's the front of the envelope, and here's the back. So now we have to attach the back. And again, I'm going to put a piece of tear tape along the edge here. And I really do think tear tape or fast fuse might be good, but because the embossing is so deep in this, I really would suggest that you use the tear tape. So there's the back, and now we just need to attach up our front. This really is a cute little bag. It makes a great little party favor. You can fill it. I made it once for the girls at work for Administrative Assistant Day, and I filled it with all kinds of candy. And I had this a poem, you know, Snickers to keep you laughing, and peppermint patties to help you keep your cool. It was really a cute little thing, and I did it in an envelope like this, and I did it in our school colors because we work at a school. But anyway, so there is our little bag. The next thing we're going to do is stamp our tag. Now, while I was over there, I ran a piece of Whisper White cardstock through the Big Shot using the Stitched Shapes framelit, which everybody knows is my favorite. So now, with some Garden Green, I'm going to stamp my sentiment more towards the top than the bottom. Okay, and then I'm going to stamp this little filigree right here in the corner. Now I've already mounted the to and the from on a block. I'm going to turn this over, and I'm going to put that towards the left here. Now I'm going to take a hole punch that's on my desk somewhere. There it is. And I'm going to make a little hole right towards the top. And I'm going to put this aside. Now I'm going to bring some crumb cake seam binding, which is retired, but you know me, you have it, so I use it. And I'm going to tie a bow. Across the top here. And when you make your bow, listen to your ribbon. It'll tell you which way it's going to go. And then if it's not going in the right direction, you can just maneuver it. Okay, so this bow is going to come out horizontal. And exactly where I want it. It's a perfect little bow. I'm going to trim my tails. Now I'm going to bring in some baker's twine. It's silver baker's twine. It might still be on the clearance rack, but I really don't think so. But I thought that it would add a little bit of pizzazz. So I'm going to take this, and double it up like this, and run this through from front to back through that little hole I just made. And now I'm going to take the tails and run it through the loop to attach my ribbon. Now I'm going to slide one tail underneath there, and the other is going to stay on the top, and I'm going to, right behind my bow so you can't see it, I'm going to tie a knot. You could certainly leave those tails if you want. It would add a little bit more to your card, but I'm going to do without. I'm just going to leave them attached like that. Then last thing I'm going to do is take a jewel, because you got to have bling, and I'm going to put one right there on my flourish, and I'm going to take my hot chocolate and I'm going to fit it in my bag. And there we go. There's a nice treat. And I liked the richness. This is Godiva, but I think Land O'Lakes also has shiny packets. I liked the contrast of the shininess with the solid color of such a deep cherry cobbler. And then, of course, this little rhinestone picks up nicely on that. And if you were to keep your baker's twine ribbons tails long, that would also add nice little to the shine and the bling of the packet. So there we go. There's number 2. And like I said before, I have to make about 60 of these little packets, and I'll be making them all different shapes and sizes. But it's an economical way to give everyone a gift at work, just to say, hey, I'm thinking of you over the holidays, and thanks for all you do, and have a little something. You can get, I happened to be fortunate enough, I had some 12 by 12 cherry cobbler. So my piece of cardstock was cut at 6, so I can get 2 of these with some extra from one piece of 12 by 12. And even if you did use the 8.5 by 11, you could, you would cut 6 and then you have 2.5 inches, so you have a good piece of leftover for many things, many different projects. And again, just scrap white. So it is economical, and it's a great way to give someone a gift. So if you have any questions at all about this project or any of the products that I used, certainly contact me through my blog, www.stampwithanna.blogspot.com. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.